All right, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. I want to read something from the book of Proverbs, and I want you to follow with me. Don't just assume that you know where this is going, but listen to this. It's three verses, very quick. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 25 through 27. It says this: Let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Do not turn to the right or the left. Remove your foot from evil. Now, this sounds like I guess the right thing to say would be very biblical, right? It has like that ring of, yep, this is the Bible. Very, it's like the sort of thing you hear in the Bible all the time. But there's a little bit more to it, and I just want to explain very briefly what's happening here. First, understand this. The book of Proverbs is, especially this portion, it is an address from a father to a son. Okay? Not only that, but also that son probably will be a king someday soon. So it's an address that's really geared up for preparing these kids for their life, okay? And in that, it's very powerful. And there's a lot. Look, I could spend years going through the Proverbs and talking about all of them. There's so much wisdom here. But in this particular case, these three verses, it says this: let your eyes look straight ahead. That's interesting. It's an interesting instruction. Okay, what's it talking about? Now, I want to say this. The book of Proverbs talks about two paths that people walk on. And you'll see it all through the book of Proverbs. The path of righteousness and the path of wickedness, right? And so all throughout the book of Proverbs, it talks about and it insinuates this path of righteousness, how we need to stay on that path. We need to keep walking in the path of righteousness, and we need to not walk in the path of wickedness. And right here, this really seems to indicate that's what he's talking about. But I think, yeah, you could say that, but that's not exactly what he's saying here. Basically, there's a picture that's being painted here, and the picture is, imagine sending your son to go on an errand to go get, let's say, some supplies. And he's going to have to go from here to his destination, and between here and that destination there is a lot of evil things. There's temptation. There's all sorts of worldly, wicked things. Okay, think about the world we live in right now. Think about what that would be like, sending your kids to a certain place, and you're sending one of your kids there alone. Or when you were a kid, think about being sent to go do something and being sent through, a part of town where there's a lot of evil stores, let's say, or in the convenience store where there's a lot of dirty magazines or whatever like that. He's basically saying, listen, when you're going to where you're going, as you're walking, walk straight ahead and keep your eyelids on what's in front of you. Don't gawk around at everything. He's not saying don't be alert, but he's saying don't focus on that stuff around you, because a lot of it is going to distract you and it's evil. He's saying keep your eyelids on the goal. Keep going towards where you need to go. And he says ponder the path of your feet. Think about where you're going. Make sure you're going where you should. And let your ways be established. Listen, there is so much wisdom in this. It may seem like, oh yeah, this is elementary. Exactly. That's the point about it. It is elementary. So why don't more people listen to what the Bible is instructing here? If I had in my younger life kept my feet walking on the right path, and I had not turned to the right or to the left, I would have avoided so much trouble and so much difficulty. And he says, don't go to the right, don't go to the left, and remove your foot from evil. Don't go down those paths that are leading to wickedness. Don't get caught up in the temptation that's on the side of the road. Don't look at that stuff. Think about where you're going and just keep going there. Okay? For a New Testament believer, anybody that's walking with the Lord right now, there's a lot of wisdom in it. Because, listen, you can get totally caught up in everything that's happening around you. And I think the enemy wants you to do that and forget where you should be going. Forget that you have a place, you have a destination, and that's a mistake. But there's another part of this that you need to pay attention to. And here's the other part. Think about it as the child, right? Think about all of the emotion that was bound up in this parent's heart, the concern, all of the worry. I mean, if you've ever sent your kids somewhere alone, you know that's not an easy thing to do. If you've ever asked them to go help somebody out, or I mean, I don't know. I can't think of a situation like this, but if I were to send my kids on a walk and one of them was alone and they had to do it, I wouldn't be happy about it, right? But understand that the Lord is basically instructing you as a father. He's instructing you as somebody that's concerned about you getting to where you need to go. Okay, you have to contemplate this, and you have to see how God is communicating his heart through the man of Solomon, who is addressing his sons. And God here is saying, understand, look, walk this path. Yes, there's going to be difficult things. Yes, there's going to be temptation. Yes, there's going to be evil right there on the side of the path. Don't turn off. Okay? Just keep on that path. It sounds so simplistic, right? And now when you start talking like that, people say, well, it's not that easy. Are you sure? Right? I would like to say this. Stepping off that path, that's what's difficult. When you turn, that's where the trouble begins, okay? That is where all of the heartache, all of the regret and guilt, all of that stuff is right off the path, okay? Walking the path and thinking about your next step and staying on that course, that actually is what's easy, okay? So take the counsel of the scripture, okay? Walk that path of righteousness. Understand, yeah, it's not going to be, there's always going to be parts of it that are challenging, but the challenge is different. The failure and the mistakes that come by turning to the right or to the left, that's where the difficulty is. And the Lord is telling you, spare yourself all of that trouble. Don't do that. Keep your eyes fixed straight ahead. Okay, I'm just going to encourage everybody that's watching this and that's considering what I'm saying. Right now, establish in your heart, think about this and say, okay, what do I need to do today to do this? How do I need to do this today? What do you need to get in your head? What do you need to get in your heart? What needs to be established to where you say, okay, I'm just going to walk this path, okay? And I'm not going to turn off. That's the counsel that Proverbs 4 is giving you right now. So consider it. Take a moment after this is done. Of course, always to leave me a comment and subscribe and like the video. But no, take a moment actually to get before the Lord and say, okay, Lord, I want to walk the path of righteousness. Give me the wisdom to keep my focus on what's ahead of me. And give me the wisdom to keep going down that route. And if you know that there's things, the detours waiting for you, you need to prepare yourself to walk past those detours and keep walking on the path that God has put before you, that path of righteousness. So I hope that encourages you today. Like I said, please leave a comment, like, and subscribe. Thank you so much, and may God richly bless you.